Good morning. I've got Bailey today, just on half a school day, just this morning. So he's on his own today, do some one-to-one work with him. So the thing with Bailey, he's 13 months now, so he's still a big pup. Mentally, he's still very, very immature, bless him. And his issues were basically throwing hissy fits. And he's a big dog, so when he threw his hissy fit, when he didn't get his own way, he'd spin round, he'd jump up, he'd mouth and bite. Not obviously to tear you limb from limb, but you know, he was quite forceful with his messages. So we've worked on that. We've worked on his lead works, really strong on the lead, so he's much better with that. And then he was kind of a typical puppy behaviour, really. He was seeing other dogs and greeting them absolutely fine, and then not actually wanting to leave them alone. So there was that issue, which we've now sort of gone past that. So this morning I've been out with him for quite a while already, and Jubilee Woods I've come to today, and there are quite a lot of dogs at Jubilee Woods, so I thought this would be a really good test for him, with just me and him, without my dogs, you know, as the distraction or the encouragement. This way. And he's been absolutely brilliant. We've met other dogs. He was having a little run around with a Cairn Terrier that was really feisty, really telling him what to do, which a lot of dogs will do with a younger dog. They will automatically flip into that kind of bossy leadership role with a youngster, because they're trying to make sure that the youngster behaves in the right way. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Bailey took it all in his stride, and brilliant. Yeah, his socialisation, his skills, the reading the body language, really good. There were a couple of dogs that were on leads that the owner was clearly, I think the owner was more nervous than the dogs, and I did give him the sound and told him to wait, and which made him basically walk next to me and not go towards the dogs, and he didn't go towards those two dogs, which I was really pleased about. Like I said, the dogs themselves, they didn't appear to be in a particularly nervous state of mind. They could have been very reactive, but yeah, the owner was clearly very distressed. So whether he picked up on that energy, he did weigh it up, clearly saw it wasn't a good energy, and he didn't go. I gave him the checks and he didn't go towards them, so really pleased with that. And then we've met a few other dogs, another golden retriever very similar to him actually. They looked like brothers, and yeah, had a little run around with him, nothing major, nothing over the top. And I just continued walking, and I didn't even say this way to him, I just kept walking just to see what he'd do. And yeah, he's having his little sort of sniff and mooch about with this other one, and then he just looked up, saw I was walking away, and came. I didn't even have to say this way. So that part, brilliant. You know, we're really getting there. This is the maturity part. I've headed along this track, 'cause it's so windy today, so I'm hoping, I can hear the wind going on, but I'm hoping it's not too windy that you can't hear me. So yeah, so I just head along this track, and then I'll head back to the main path, so there'll be more dogs there. I just wanted to try and get the video first, so that you could hear me in some shelter. Okay, so what's happened yesterday, he did have a little bit of a setback, because he did throw a hissy fit, and he was jumping up and he was grabbing hold of his owner's hoodie, you know, and really being the typical Bailey that he was when I first started seeing him. And he's a handful. He's a big dog, so he is a handful. He's difficult. It's difficult to keep your balance. You know, what I always say is, as much as you can, step into them. Try not to stand still. You've got to at some point, it's actually going to go over, but try not to stand. Try and keep some kind of forward movement, even if it's just walking around in a circle, as long as you're moving, and try and step into them when they're, you know, jumping up and coming at you. Easier said than done, I know that, but that's what we've got to try and do. And basically, we don't want to submit by giving our space over to them when they start to behave this way. And so yeah, that was a little bit disappointing with that. But on the flip side, his walks with the dog walker and the socialisation and coming away from other dogs has improved massively. So we're still just getting these little switches, and that's what Bailey's got. He has got a little bit of a switch, which is a bit odd, but I'm quite sure it's something he'll grow out of, and it is to do with setting the boundaries in the house. So even though some of these sort of measures I say to take don't really, you know, make sense probably, you probably think, well, how is that going to affect him you know, having a hissy fit on the lead when I say don't play with toys with them in the house, you know. It does, because it's all about where they see you and how they command you, how they get a reaction from you. And you want to give as little reaction, certainly no talking, just as little attention as possible, as little reaction as possible to any behaviour they do that you don't want. Okay? And that can be just standing up and stepping into their space with a ch sound, but I'm not putting my voice into it. I'm not actually giving them any kind of reaction or response. I'm not weakening my position at all. I'm not giving them anything to read into. And this is the thing with Bailey at this age, he's still reading into body language. And you know, if he's coming to you in the house to play, yeah, we want to play with our dogs, I get that, but when you've got issues, we've got to address them, you know, from the psychology of the dog. Where is he coming from? Why is he doing this? And you can give all the commands in the world and give all the treats in the world when you think they've done what you want them to do, but they can be very manipulative. And it's not in a human sense, this is in a survival sense. This is in a sense of weighing up who's who. Can they trust you to make the right decisions? Everything that a dog sees, every instinct that a dog has, it's about survival. And even though they're in a really nice comfortable house with us, don't need to worry where the next meal's coming from, their DNA is still telling them survival, survival. Look into this, judge it, weigh it up. And when they're young at this age, when they're coming into their own mental maturity, this is what they're doing, they're weighing everything up, and this is what he's doing in the house. So we've got to be very matter of fact, keep it matter of fact. When everything settles down, we get less hissy fits, everything's calmer, he's not so demanding in the house, he's not constantly, oh God, look at that, that's a pretty good spring that was. Well done, that was a good jump. This way. And oh, I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to go now. Okay, let's go for the less muddy route, we'll go this way. This way. Recall's lovely, I'm really happy with it, especially because it's just me and him on our own. Yeah, so keep everything very matter of fact in the house, the behaviour, everything very matter of fact in the house. When he gets less demanding, when he gets less in your space, nudging you, coming up, it feels nice to us to have the dog come up and just lay their head on us. But depending on what's going on with the behaviour within the house, any issues, that laying the head on your lap can actually be ownership. And if we let them do that and give them a nice soft talk, we're actually then giving them submissive behaviour. So it's not that you can never fuss your dog, but we've got to weigh up what's happening within the house and address it at, you know, at the right time. When everything settles down, when there's not so many you know, behaviours that are saying, hang on, he's still going off on one, then we can start to introduce what we want as humans, which is the soft talk, the love, the affection. But as soon as your dog starts to take it too far, we've got to rein it back in and get back to being matter of fact, okay? It's the way their minds work. We've got to respect they're a dog, and this is how they think, this is how they work. And it's not that we're being cruel, we're actually giving them a safe environment so that they're not stressed, they're not reactive, and they're not seeking to find a weakness because they're insecure about their position. Yeah, so this is Bailey Boy. So it's quite good actually out the window. God, it's about blew my head off this morning. So I'm going to get some nice photos of him today, just me and him, and then I say we'll head back to the main paths of Jubilee Wood, and we'll just get some more interaction going with dogs. And I'll still work on that coming away from Ross, but from what I can see, he's brilliant. He's certainly got that. So okay, have a good day.